Good to go.
Good to go. Welcome
Um,
to Book Club, everyone.
we're going to talk about nothing for a little bit while we wait for the people running late.
Let us know if everything is running smoothly and you can hear us okay. All that normal stuff.
Is it a bajillion degrees where everyone else is?
Yeah, is anyone else going through a massive heat wave?
It was
This is
like,
not us complaining.
no,
We appreciate it because we very rarely get warm weather. I will take every single second of it.
we had, what was it with the humidex? 41.
No, I don't know what that is for
Let me check.
Americans.
41 Celsius to Fahrenheit. 105 freedom units.
Really?
Yeah.
105? Wow, that's pretty hot for us. Seems like everyone is having lots
Snow
of.
last weekend? Where?
Wow, where?
Yeah, where did it snow? That's wild.
Seems like lots of people have very warm temperatures these days. We were supposed to have a storm, was it yesterday? But it missed us, so it just hasn't cooled down at all.
Yeah. It again, not complaining. Love it.
Hey, we are warmer than California right now, according to Megan. So that's fun.
Oh.
Everyone loves your freedom units.
That's what I go with. Um, I still don't have
Wow,
wall art, so
yeah, still no wall art, so that's six
I'm
months
narrowing
away.
it down though. I know I'm gonna get uh, some sort of picture or painting.
Something that hangs on the wall, you
Maybe a shelf with something on it, but
mean? You're just listing them.
oh,
I do have to make a bit of a confession. So, our last book club, I said that Scott and I were going to read the book club earlier in the month so that we could be on Fable and leave all the comments and be active. And then Atmosphere came out by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it completely ruined my life in the best way possible. And so I didn't read Legends and Lattes, this month's book, until 2 days ago. So I did read it, but I was really late on Fable. So sorry about that again.
and I was about to start it, and then Megan was like, "No, you have to read Atmosphere so I can talk to you about it." So, for the sake of my marriage, I did that instead.
And
And
it was
then,
worth it.
and yeah, I loved it. Um, and then I read Legends and Lattes.
Yes. I had to have a filler book in between Atmosphere and Legends and Lattes because I was so worried that whatever book I read next would be completely ruined by how good Atmosphere was.
Yeah,
I know that's like a weird, but I needed something in between.
I did the audiobook for Atmosphere, yeah, and I loved it.
Oh, it was so good. I want to reread it again right now.
If you haven't done the audiobook, I would even recommend
Do the audiobook,
listening to the audiobook because the
100%.
voice actresses like just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was amazing. Anyways, let's get to why we're here.
Yeah.
Welcome to Book Club. We are talking about Legends and Lattes, which was our June pick of the month. In June, all of our options for the poll were like LGBTQ plus for Pride Month, and Legends and Lattes won, which is exciting. Isn't this cover like super pretty? Also, let's just do a little show and tell. Look at this. Can you see that? Isn't that stunning? And then, hold on, at the back, another one. And you can't see, probably, but right there, that's Thimble.
Oh,
Is that
he's
not
in
the
it.
cutest thing you've ever seen in your life?
It's actually that's really interesting that it follows like at the start of the book it's like spring, and at the end of the book it's winter, and they
Yeah,
did that for your edition as well.
yeah. It was super cute. And sprayed edges.
Love it.
Love it.
All right.
Um, anyways,
Initial thoughts.
initial thoughts on the book. This was not my pick on the poll. It was probably my third choice of what I was hoping to read for this month. I don't know why. I've seen this book around a ton, and it just like never really like spoke to me. And I don't know, it just was like I wasn't looking forward to it, but my initial thoughts was I was like kind of hesitant to go into it. And no, Megan, it is never my pick.
I
Ever.
was gonna
I don't think
say.
a single time it has been my
I don't
pick.
think it ever has been, no.
Yeah.
Um,
Your initial thoughts?
Mine, I didn't have any real thoughts on it. I thought it was gonna be dumb. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I don't think I'll like it, and um, I was just like, I'll read it for the sake of reading it. But that was that was my initial thought.
Yeah. But going into our ratings, how wrong was I? Because I loved this book. It was super cute. I gave it 4 stars. And it was like so just like cozy. Like it was just like a hug in a book. And yeah, I don't know, I shouldn't have put it off. It just kind of goes to show that like sometimes books can surprise you in a really good way.
Yeah, I
And
also loved it. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was, especially coming off like um, a heavy book,
yeah,
having a really light read after that like captured my interest was like really nice. It's like if Stardew Valley was a book, kind of.
yeah.
That's how I
What
would
did you
describe it.
what did you rate it again?
4.5.
4.5. That's fine for you.
Yeah, I had quite the month. A
You
five
did have
star with atmosphere and 4.5 with this one.
yeah. I think like a lot of people are saying they kind of just like needed this book, and I agree. Like June was like pretty busy for me, and also like the world is
The world.
the world. And it was just really refreshing to read something so whimsical and cute and
And
yeah.
I love coffee, and so like for me, it was just like having a book that's just like about like mercenary who
Yeah.
starts a coffee shop was like kind of fun.
Yes. We will get into that when we get into the discussion because I feel like there's a lot to talk about there. Um especially like all the food and drinks and whatnot. But before we do that, let's move to the group rating.
Sorry. Group rating.
Um, Group rating, you guys pretty much agreed it was like kind of 4 stars all around. Like, I don't think there was, I mean, there was a couple of people that did not like it. A couple people loved it, but overall, 3.9 is pretty
Yeah,
decent.
that's not bad for what we've been getting. It's what was our lowest? 3.2.
I want to say 3.5. It was
Um,
last month's. Whatever God of the Woods was.
yeah. Okay.
Something
Um,
like that.
yeah, but it was our lowest number of ratings, though, right?
Yes, lowest number of ratings. But I'm wondering if a lot of people had
Yeah. How many of you
already
had
read
read
it.
it before we started?
I love how everyone's just talking about cinnamon rolls.
I mean, I I don't blame you for talking about
No,
it. Like that book made me so hungry,
so hungry.
and we have a couple of like little cafes around that I'm like I need to go there immediately.
Shall we move into
Yeah,
some
let's talk about it.
discussion topics? What'd you think of the beginning with the like prologue?
Um, I was a bit confused during the prologue. Like
Same.
I was just like, what is happening? And
Yeah,
then the book started, and I was like, it didn't really seem to have any point for anything really, but then it kind of did.
yeah. It took me a second,
Yeah,
like, to get into it. Like, the story didn't grip me right away.
yeah,
I think you're kind of just like thrown in, and I was like, wait, what's happening?
yeah,
What's going on? But then once it got into like the actual book, past the
yeah.
prologue, I was like pretty well into it.
I
But
liked the opening after I got into the book, but I
yeah,
didn't like the opening when I first started the book.
I agree. I agree. I didn't appreciate it until
Yeah,
later because it shows you a little bit more of like the
yeah,
characters and the dynamic and
yeah.
everything. But yeah. Um.
Loved this quote.
Yes, I did too.
Um, as someone who changed career paths, it's a nice
Same.
it's a nice change. Um, or it's a nice quote for change and being allowing change.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I found that it was a really refreshing take on a fantasy world. Like it was just so like normal feeling while still being like whimsical.
Yeah.
Um, and I really liked that they um, took like a really aggressive character and like was just like she just likes coffee.
Yeah. I like that they took someone who like has kind of been through it and
Yeah,
done like the fighting and the violence, and then she was just like, you know what, that life's not for me. I want something quieter.
yeah,
And I just really appreciated that
yeah,
she was willing to like go after it as someone who's like a self-started business. I like really appreciated that about her. Like I could really resonate a lot with like a lot of the things she was going through, like when things didn't always work out, and just like I don't know, just like having this dream and trying to make it come to fruition.
yeah.
And just like you said, this quote, I actually wrote down this quote when I first heard it because it's just a nice reminder that you don't have to have it all figured out all at once.
Hates you.
Oh, yeah. As soon as I was like listening, so I did this book on audio, and I know that it's not the same audio like narrator as House and Cerulean Sea, but it was giving such similar vibes as House and Cerulean Sea. If anyone has read both, please tell me you agree, because they're both like just this like warm hug of a book. Like, it's just like that's the way when I read House and Cerulean Sea the first time, that's what I said. It was like a hug in a book. And this book is like that too. So if you haven't read House of Cerulean Sea, do it.
I need to as well. I started it, but
Also, so cozy.
when I started House in the Cerulean Sea, I was mid career change, and it was giving me too much. I hate my job vibe, so I stopped.
It does also have that, yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, we have to talk about Cal. He was just so grumpy, and I loved him.
Yeah.
I just loved how grumpy he was.
Yeah. But like in like a sweet way.
Yeah, like he had a soft spot, obviously,
Yeah.
but like he comes across with this like hard exterior.
Yeah.
Ugh, he was the best. He was so cute.
As soon as like as soon as Cal showed up, I was like, damn it, I'm gonna love this book.
Yeah, same. That was kind of my when I first knew that I was gonna really like it.
Yeah. This was I loved this part of the book when they talk about the lady
The
stuck
bean
into the
water,
exotic bean water.
that made me laugh out loud. Like,
Yeah,
it's so funny.
it was
I
so
love
funny.
that like coffee was just like not a thing.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
so like not only did she want to open this cafe, but she wanted to open a cafe with something no one's ever heard of.
yeah. Oh, and I really liked that she was just like, no, people are going to like it.
Yeah,
But like, really, it was like, I kind of thought like, here's this orc woman who's just trying to like get an entire town addicted to coffee. That's just like
yeah,
the premise of the book. And I was
yeah,
like, with how much I love coffee, I was like, there's no way it doesn't work. It has to work.
yeah. This
Um,
kind of, for me, goes back to just like she was just like willing to work for it, you know?
I also
Like,
just like the when it comes to the writing, there's a lot of like plays on um, like manhandled, having it be orc handled, and like
yeah,
a lot of just like little clever little nuances of the book that I thought
yeah,
he did a really good job of making it feel like a casual like just stuff that like a people would say, but
yeah.
in a fantasy world.
Like turns of phrases, but
Yeah,
fantasy style.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, that was fun. No, he did a good job with it. I saw someone say that I'd never read any of his books, so like if someone has read more, I don't know how many books he has. I have heard that they're for people who like they're really good for people who like D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons. And I did
yeah,
get like those kinds of vibes
yeah.
from it as well. I can see that. I
Um,
would say that this book was definitely very character driven for being a fantasy.
yeah,
Like it was really only a fantasy because it has like orcs and
yeah,
other types of creatures in it, but otherwise it seemed very like real world, like what you were saying earlier.
yeah. And it was like a really refreshing take on a fantasy world because it was just so like almost all of the book took place in the coffee shop or around the coffee shop,
Yeah,
and like she had to go out a few times, but like mostly speaking, it was just her working at a coffee shop.
yeah. I also really liked how her relationship with the town folk really grew over not just in the coffee shop, but like when she was going on doing errands. Like she seemed really unsure in the beginning, like how people would perceive her.
Yeah,
And as the book goes on, she gets more and more comfortable
yeah, and she
going
starts
out
finding
and
like little friendships along the way, or like figuring out people's skills and
yeah, exactly. Oh, the sign. Wasn't that so cute?
yeah, and that's when you're like, oh, he like is just a good dude who
Yeah.
just wants to like make people happy. But I
I
think,
love I love because originally they were talking about different names.
yeah,
Like Viv's something
um,
Viv's
Viv's
coffee?
place or
Viv's place. Maybe that was it. I can't remember.
yeah,
But I love that they settled on Legends and Lattes.
yeah.
Such a good name.
I really appreciated that Viv seemed to like when she has Cal do the work. It wasn't that he was like a tradesman. It was that he knows how to do things.
Yeah.
And then with Thimble, it was like she just noticed that he had flour on him, so she's like he must know how to bake, and so
Yeah.
she like looked at people a little deeper than, and I think that's like one of the skills that she had through the book was that she could see more
Potential.
of the potential in people than just like
Probably
what's
because
in front of her.
she was used to not having people see her
Yeah,
potential and see
exactly.
how much deeper she was. But yeah, I thought it was really cute. Someone else pointed out the Calamity Coffee was a good name.
Oh yeah,
I agree. That was also a really good name.
yeah,
But I think I like that they ended up on Legends and Lattes.
yeah.
I like responded to this comment on Fable about the college kids like hanging out but not paying for anything, and it's exactly what I was like. This would happen today,
Yeah.
like 100%.
I'm pretty sure I was that person at some point. I would buy something because
You
I would
would
feel
buy
bad,
something,
but
there definitely were people who would just show up and not.
yeah,
It kind of goes back to what you were saying. Even if it's a fantasy world, it was still like felt very real.
yeah. Um, okay, let's get into talking about Thimble because he's really the only thing that matters about this whole book.
Star of the book,
Yeah.
100%.
I,
And also, like, as someone who went to school to be a pastry chef,
oh yeah, did you guys
Thimble,
know that Megan went to school to be a pastry chef and was
Thimble
like
was.
really good?
I'm pretty sure he and I are soulmates. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's the way it is because he and I like same way. Like every time he was like so excited about his little creations and wanted to do new things, and oh, he's just so sweet. I just wanted to like give him a hug.
Yeah, just everything about him was like so perfect.
And he was so shy. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
he just. And then what the part that I loved the most of the whole book is when they're like talking about his wage and he agrees to everything, and then the only thing he says is free coffee.
yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
um, but yeah, Megan went to um, culinary school to
I
be
did.
a pastry chef, and she ran a cake making business for a couple years, right?
Yep.
And
This was all pre Little Inklings design.
and she really liked the design part, but didn't like the stress of the cake
Yeah, it was not great for my
delivery.
mental health. So I pivoted. Like, that's why I like this book so much because it really resonated with me as like a business owner, just like starting your own thing.
Yeah.
But
I love the description of sitting in the booth swinging his little ratkin feet. I know.
I agree. He was just so cute.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah,
love everything about him.
I agree. He stole the show for me. Like,
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a high rating. Like, it went up at least 0.5 because of just Thimble.
yes. Heard a couple people talking about like the cozy fantasy. So I went into this book. I didn't really know anything about it, but I did know that it was kind of classified as a cozy fantasy. And like this one comment says, not necessarily something I would like gravitate towards. It wasn't something I would like. If I heard someone describe a book as cozy fantasy, I probably wouldn't like be like, yes, give me that. But I think I would be more willing now, which is
Yeah.
actually really surprising because of how much I liked House in the Cerulean Sea, which is also a cozy
Yeah.
fantasy. But I think because I liked that one so much, I was like worried that nothing else would be the same.
Yeah.
You know, like have that same special, like impactful thing. But
Yeah,
turns out it does.
I
So maybe,
definitely pick up another one
yeah.
at this
Now I
point.
feel like I'd be more willing. I saw some people in the chat saying that the second one is even better. So
Oh, really?
maybe have to try that one out.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like I've seen people say like cozy mysteries and then Samantha's saying you have to try cozy sci-fi.
Okay, I
I've
need a
never heard
cozy
of these
sci-fi
things.
recommendation.
So if you have recommendations for cozy sci-fi especially, I've never heard of one. So I need a recommendation for that. Because I feel like these cozy books are perfect for when you need something light
Yeah.
to like escape a
Yeah.
little.
They're like a between books book.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look, it's me again. We have to talk about was it magical?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I was not paying the most attention, but so correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, she was like a mob boss
Yeah, that's
who just ended up being an old woman who crochets.
yeah,
Like
nailed
she
it.
was built up as this like, you got to pay or you're gonna be like busted kneecaps.
Yeah,
But then really she was just like not.
yeah, and can be paid off with cinnamon rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so I got it. So yeah, cozy.
yeah,
Um,
but
but
yeah,
let's
she was still a mob boss. Like they just won her over with
yeah.
the
Oh,
pastries.
totally, she was. But I feel like she kind of had a soft spot
Yeah,
for Viv. But let's move on and talk about what everyone wants to talk about, which is the food. This book made me so hungry.
yeah. I
Like every time, not even just hungry, but every time they would describe like a food or a drink or whatever, it was so like the way it was described,
yeah,
the sounds and the smells and the like just like atmosphere was so like it brought it to life.
yeah. What was
And
their
I was
tagline on the end of the sign?
end of the sign.
Yeah, it was like the
You mean
something
the
for
menu?
the yeah for the working.
Oh yeah, hold on, it's in the book somewhere. Finer taste for the working gent and lady.
Loved it.
So cute.
Yeah, I went, but every time they went through the whole list of menu, I was like, I just want one of everything, please.
Yes. And when they were describing the biscotti being made, which they call thimbles,
Thimblets.
thimblets, thank you. As soon as they were describing the process of him making them, I was like, oh, biscotti. Like as soon as
Yeah,
I was just like that. As soon as he got the spice, like the ingredients,
yeah.
I was like, I know it's coming, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was nice, like the description of the food and like even having them like talk about the food and
Yeah,
everything. It was like I'm just hungry all the time. And then they made like a comment about how Viv was like my clothes are like a little tight because they just keep eating all of his cooking. I loved it.
okay. Question: you can only pick one menu item. What are you picking?
Obviously coffee.
No, food wise.
Oh, food wise.
Yeah,
Um, just the cinnamon roll.
the
You
cinnamon roll.
gotta.
I feel like that one because it's like the classic, but that chocolate croissant was calling my name.
Yeah,
I
but
forget what they called it in the book. I don't remember.
okay, little Thimble comes out and he's just like, here's the best I got, and gives you the cinnamon roll. You just know he's bringing his best first, and then
Yeah,
everything from there, like, it's gonna be good, but it's not gonna
yeah.
be like what Thimble wants most
I hear
out
you,
there.
but the chocolate croissant was
Yeah, that's
calling my
fair.
name.
That was second for me.
I still want one.
Yeah.
Like like tomorrow morning, I'm like maybe we go hit
Actually,
up the coffee shop.
there's this gas station near our house, and it's just a gas station, but they sell the best baked goods. Like they like have like some sort of baker in the back, and or like they partner with them or something.
I
And
think they import them from someone local.
yeah,
They're so good.
I had this cheesecake from them at like right before bed, and I ate way too much of it, and I was up all night. But I wasn't even mad because the cheesecake was so good.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what this book reminded me of, that cheesecake.
Yeah. I was surprised we didn't get a little bit more food, but I guess it kind of makes sense in
Yeah.
your story. I think that's just the baker in me. I just want
I think that I like to imagine that Thimble is continuing to grow the bakery of the place to
Yeah,
this day
yeah,
because
I
Thimble is eternal.
yes. Um, there were some subtle hints between Viv and Tandri. Very subtle, though.
Yeah.
Like
So
it was,
subtle you don't actually know at the end. Like we kind of
yeah,
talked about it earlier.
yes,
Um, how they like she makes her in the room, but and you're like, so do they get together or did they just have a moment or like there's kind of like I don't know. I mean, I know what I my head canon is one thing, but
yes. My headcanon is as well, which I think is the point, but it was very light. I
yeah.
think
But I
I
think I liked it for the book though.
like I could have used
Maybe a little more.
just a smidgen more, and not just of their romance, although that is like what we're talking about right now. But I saw the chat was talking about it a little bit earlier that they wished there was a little bit more plot.
Yeah.
And well, I love the cozy vibes and was totally here for it. I wouldn't want that much more. I needed like a smidgen more.
Yeah.
Like, for me to like make it like, a next level book. Like I liked it, but I needed just like a smidgen.
Yeah. I would have liked to see or learn more of Tandri's story. Like
Yeah.
you only got the like surface of it, but um you never really get like an in-depth look at it from at least from this book.
Yeah.
There's the prequel.
The prequel has an epilogue that answers the question. Is the bookshops and bone dust, is that the prequel book? I don't know anything about.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
So I'm gonna have to read that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that one too.
But talking about like the main kind of conflict, we have someone trying to steal the stone.
Yeah.
Bib's former friend.
Yeah, I forget his
Friend.
name. So it starts with an F.
Yeah, Fen something. I'll look it up. Venice.
Yeah, that sounds right. I thought had the same thought as Becca on this part when the fire hit, where I was just like, oh, I wonder if they have like mythical insurance. Like,
Yeah.
is that a thing?
Yeah, did not
Uh,
seem that way.
and then it didn't seem like it, but there was
I
like part
love
of me
that
that thought that.
the cat woke them. We
Yeah,
haven't talked about Amity. Hope I'm saying that right. We haven't talked about Amity yet. Also loved.
yeah,
I'm not usually a cat person,
no.
but I really liked. I think
You're a dire cat person.
it was huge, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
um, I love that the cat woke up. Like the cat was so kind of like mysterious because
yeah,
you don't really know if they like to be around, but then also it clearly did because it kept coming
yeah,
around. Oh, also, side side note, getting distracted now. We're talking about the cat. The was I think it was a gnome, the old man who was playing chess.
yeah,
Like I need more. Like he was obviously something about the future, right? Like he left a lot of hints
yeah,
that, like he was aware of the future.
yeah. Or maybe he's just like aware of the chemistry between them, and he just knew.
No, like no, there's more to it because he was playing chess and then he made the comment about how
Yeah,
like he did like set the moves but not then.
yeah,
So like I need more about him. He was like very intriguing. And the cat seemed to really like him.
yeah. Maybe the cat travels with him through space and time.
I don't know.
Who
I forget
knows?
what his name is, but I liked him. Also,
Yeah.
we need to talk about the musician guy.
Oh yeah, love the musician guy.
What was his name?
Uh, Tan. No, so I think it's a T name.
I don't remember. He was really cute. He was really like,
Shy.
yeah, like
Yeah.
stuttery and whatever.
Pendry.
Hendry. Yes, he was sweet too. There was a great group of
Yeah.
characters in this. I really liked.
Bunch of misfits, kind
Yeah, I
of.
was gonna say like a bunch of misfits kind of finding their place
Yeah.
together. Yes, he made me think of Phoebe from Friends too. Maybe a little bit more like shy, but kind
Because
of
he's
that like weird.
thinks smelly dire cat.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the fire. It was that was a sad
Yeah.
part of the book, but at the same time, like selfishly, I was kind of glad that something was happening. You know, like
Yeah.
I kept waiting for
I
like,
knew something was gonna happen when they mentioned that there was enough room for the double oven of
mm-hmm.
thimbles. I was like, oh, the building's gonna get destroyed so that they can rebuild it bigger.
Oh, that's funny that you knew. This was just about the fire as well.
I think the stone was interesting because you
Yeah,
never really knew if
until
it.
the end,
Yeah,
you don't really understand. But at this point, when the fire, I was like, well, it's not a very lucky stone, is it?
yeah,
Because she kept having all this bad stuff happen to her.
yeah.
But then you realize what it actually meant.
It made me laugh because the whole time I was like, damn it, it's just like, it's the magic of friendship. But I actually loved it.
Yeah, it's true. Um, I loved this too. Just like that she was feeling so like lost um after it all burned down, and it
Yeah,
was like her community that like came and got her and
yeah.
like kind
Helped
of
her.
forced her
Yeah.
into a rebuild. But like,
That's just the coffee addiction, though. Like if my coffee shop burned down, I would be there with a hammer the next day. Like let's
let's
get this
go.
going again.
Yeah. No, I think like
No,
it was, yeah. And it was nice to see it be like bigger and better than it was
yeah.
before.
And they kind of all the things that they learned that they needed, they were able to put into it this time.
Yeah. Um, Back to just the one comment. Becca said I took it as the stone being taken made it unlucky. That is what I thought as well, except that it is my feeling that the stone was taken like during the fire. So like the fire had obviously started while the stone was there, and then later we kind of learned that it isn't even about luck. It's about kind of reaping what you sow.
Yeah.
Correct? Like it just is like kind of a karma
Yeah.
stone, essentially.
Well, it brings people together of like people like you will show
Yeah,
up with you. So
yeah,
it's kind of a karma stone in a way.
but like people way.
Yeah, people karma.
So like it's not like luck or like fortune.
Yeah,
It brings you, yeah, like Amanda says, like to like.
yeah. Like you're lucky to find the friends you make along the way.
Like we need like sparkles
Yeah,
and
exactly.
rainbows.
But like, love it.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is just what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That was attracting what she was looking for and represented in her
Yeah.
actions, which I like. I think what I really liked about Viv was she knows probably what it's like to be misunderstood, but rather than like being grumpy about that and like closed off, she gave people the benefit of the doubt she wished she was given. Like she chose to respond with kindness,
Yeah.
openness, when she probably wasn't used to getting that. And
Right.
that was like a deliberate decision that I think a lot of people don't make, you
Yeah.
know? So I just, yeah, I liked that she made this like choice.
Yeah. She was
Different.
a fun character. I really liked how she was written. I really liked the nuance of her, where she like is kind of fighting this battle, and I also liked when she is kind of like talking about how she can take care of the situation by just like going to kill everyone that's
Yeah,
in her way. Um, that um, Tandri like talks her out of it, and she's like, "No, like if you're gonna make the change,
yeah,
or don't, because
yeah. But also Tandri like stood up to Viv's friends who
right,
were like basically kind of pushing Viv to
right,
like have that
like peer
response.
pressuring,
And Tandri was just like, no, she's more than that.
right,
And I just really liked that Tandri like
yeah."
so loyal and saw Viv.
And I think part of it, like she says that she can like feel people's thoughts a little bit more. I'd like to think after at at that point that she like kind of would have felt the pull in Viv in that direction to be like, no, I don't actually want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And so
I,
she kind of like latched onto that and it was like, no, I'm gonna help her like bring that out of her.
yeah. And then we kind of get to the end, which is seeing what happened with. Wow, they rebuild.
Yeah, they rebuild.
They rebuild. Everything is
Everything's
going
way better.
great. Everything's bigger and better and more successful. And Thimble is happy with his double oven, which is all that matters in
Yeah,
life.
until he needs the triple oven.
All he needs is a triple oven. And then we have the epilogue, which is Venice getting.
I was like really hoping we'd get a story of how like what karma comes to Fennis, and then
I
when the
agree.
epilogue was about him, I was like, yes,
Yes, I agree. It was nice to have that like resolution
yeah,
and kind of, yeah, get that like karma of someone
yeah,
who was kind of horrible the whole book.
and that it brought like the other guy, like the Weasley like tax collector, not tax
The
collector,
guy
but
with the
like
hat,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
so they all show up together, and I was just like, yes. And then the cat, and I was like, oh, good, the cat is still around
yeah,
somehow,
yeah,
looking out for the shop.
yeah. It was a good ending.
Yeah, it was fun. Um, it took
Was
me a
there
long
any
time to find that emoji.
the cat
I had to like sort through a bunch of
sensitive?
different ones to find the right one that kind of looked like it was like gonna take someone out.
Is there anything that you would change about the ending? And in the chat, feel free to comment if there's anything you would change about the ending.
um, I would have liked a little bit more, like maybe like a epilogue to the epilogue that was just like a year later about like how things are and like how the
Yeah,
shop is like bustling or whatever and
I agree.
um
I know people said it's like in the other book,
yeah,
but I would have liked if this book was a little bit more complete with that. Like that we did get a little bit of a glimpse into the future of how it ended up for them.
yeah, just to know things are still extra cozy.
Yeah. But that's just like super minor. Like
Yeah,
I thought it was a really great ending as it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Just if I could, I want a little bit more because it was so cute.
um what about anything else for you other than that?
No, I agree with what you said. I would think it would have been nice to see that.
um Trying to think if there's anything else. You said you'd have wanted more food. um
Yeah.
Somebody said a recipe book. It would like or like a recipes. It could might have been fun if they're like actual recipes
Yeah,
were
I've seen
in
that
like the
before
back.
in some books where like if someone in the book is like a baker or a cook or something, sometimes they'll include a recipe in the
Yeah.
book. That would have been a nice touch
Yeah.
to add in, especially I would say like having like a special edition book to like incorporate
Yeah.
something like
Maybe.
that.
Maybe one day.
It'd be cute.
Oh yeah, a menu from a year later. That would be fun.
Oh,
Like,
that would be cute.
that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. I like that. Yeah, I kind of like agree with May. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the chat. Like, it was really cute. Loved the characters. Just as a personal preference, I need like a little bit more to it. I really liked it, but like I just needed
Yeah.
something else to it. But I'm glad I read it, and
Yeah.
I like
I would look for books like it again if I'm in the. I couldn't do it all the time, but if I'm
no,
in
I
the right
couldn't.
mood,
Yeah,
like summer when I'm out working in the yard or whatever.
or like in the fall when you have like
Oh
you could
yeah.
get like a latte
Yeah.
and I
Gotta
could
get
make
the
cinnamon rolls
gotta get the
and
heated blanket out and.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save the second one for the winter
Yeah.
so I can be cozy with it.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, I think like this book was a really good like kind of in between book, you know,
Yeah.
kind of lightens things. It's like a palate cleanser of a book.
Yeah. The amuse bouche.
Anyways, we kind of already discussed the ending, so
Yeah.
we can move into the portion of it where we talk about the challenges that this book covers. And so if you have used this book for a challenge, let me know what you used it for. I'll go through just a couple of them. For the A to Z, it can be used for the Elf, for Legends and Lattes. For the Fully Booked, it could be used as the Sapphic book prompt. Now, this is kind of a topic of debate between Scott and I, this next one, but a food in the title. Scott says yes with the lattes. I say no, it's a drink, but you can make your own decision on that. And then also has an ampersand in the title, so you could use it for that if you haven't already. On the cover, depends on which cover you're reading. Mine has both a drink and a weapon on it, so you could use it for either. But I think the original cover only has the drink. So, and then same with Reading Rainbow. It kind of depends what cover you have. Mine would be green. I think the other one maybe brown. And I think that's it. But if you have a different prompt that you use it for, let me know. It could be like the general, like if it was a new to you author or the social media one. If it's been on your TBR for a while, you could do those ones. And I think that's kind of all for the book, but we do have a couple of housekeeping things.
Thank you, Becca. Before we move on, as someone who has coffee for breakfast, it has to be a food.
I have so many opinions, so I'll keep them to myself. Anyways, housekeeping. First, let's talk about our next book for July before we get into our housekeeping, which the next book we did the poll earlier in June, and the theme for our July pick was like summer or like warm kind of books, that kind of vibe. Got a lot of suggestions from you guys for those books, and the one that ended up winning was The Adventures of Mina El Sarafi. I'm really sorry if I got that wrong. Probably didn't say the title right, but that's the one that we are reading for July, and our next meeting will be on July 30th. So we have quite a while before the next one. And then now for the housekeeping. If you remember in our last meeting, if you joined us for that, I asked you guys to come prepared with a book that you would like to recommend for our August poll, because I thought it would be fun to get suggestions from you guys. for that. So if you have come prepared with a title, please leave it in a comment. I'm going to write them down. And then we have a couple of people who can't join us for this meeting because of like time change situation. Not time change. What's that called?
Zone.
Time zones. Thank you. So they watch the video like the next day. So once I have, if they feel like they want to send me what theirs is, I had a couple people already do it, but once I have everyone's recommendations, then I'm going to like put them in a hat and pull out and that will be the poll for August. So it'll be totally random, but yeah, leave your book recommendations or book picks, and let me know. Scott, if you want to read them out, I will write them down.
The Unhoneymooners.
Okay.
The Blind Assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Symphony of Secrets.
Secrets.
The Familiar.
Mm-hmm.
This Is How You Lose the Time War.
Oh, I read that one.
Remarkable Bright Creatures.
Oh, also read that one.
For She Is Wrath.
I'm glad that you guys came with so many
we came prepared.
questions. I love it. Murder by Cheesecake.
That's what the gas station cheesecake tried to do to me.
Okay. If anyone thinks of, yeah, you can do more than one suggestion, sure.
Why not? Wild West.
There wasn't any rules, so.
The Simple Wild.
Okay. I think I got them all. Oh, come on. Okay. I think I got them all. Like I said, I will, what was I saying? Oh, I'm going to put them all in a hat and I'll draw them, and kind of mid-July-ish, I will put the poll up on Fable, and then you guys can vote. Oh, before we go, I thought this like little tidbit would be interesting for you guys, since last time you said you liked the stats that we gave. Since we're 6 months into our book club, which, yay, so exciting, and I'm so happy you guys are still here after 6 months. But so far, out of the 6 months we've been doing this, we have had 3 fantasy books, 1 historical fiction, 1 mystery, and 1 romance. So just thought that was kind of interesting. And next month will also be fantasy. So
we have to do a video of the hat draw, apparently.
Okay, I can do that. I actually need to write down a couple more.
I'll think of a sci-fi that we can throw in there.
Yeah, I actually do need your suggestion, and I'm gonna add one as well because
I didn't do my homework.
You did not. I didn't expect you to be honest.
That's because you've known me since high school.
Yes, I am familiar with your homework ways. Oh my goodness, that was such a long title. You know what I need someone to suggest is a book that has 25 letters, because I can't find one, and everyone keeps recommending Remarkably Bright Creatures, but that's the only one I've already read, although it was really good. If you're gonna read it, do the audiobook. It's really good. If that's one of the options, because that was on this list, so I need Okay, I think that's everything. Scott,
All
do you
right.
have anything to add?
Oh, somebody asked if you're gonna host another plan with
Oh,
me.
we were just talking about this and how I am behind on hosting. So Megan, who's also in the chat, she's doing a planner party. Megan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's this weekend. Yes. I'm going to be doing one early July. I have to finalize some dates, but I will be doing one, and that will be here on YouTube. So, yes, I will be doing one, and I will probably be working on my quarterly check-in then. So, I will be posting information on that once I have it on my Instagram. And if you're in our Facebook group chat, it will be there as well. Yes, Megan does have a planner party this weekend. So if you're in the Facebook group, also check out that event as well. Then you'll have
Perfect.
two. But anyways, I think that's it for me. Scott, anything to add?
I don't have anything to add.
Well, thank you for all of your suggestions. I love that you guys came prepared with so many. And I'll probably do the drawing for them sometime in July. So look out for that. Yeah. And as always, thank you for joining us. Appreciate all your thoughts on the book, and really looking forward to our next one.
See you next month.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.